Dice Tower Tonight, episode 5.
Yay, we're going to PAX.
It's PAXticipation? No.
Yeah, that's the word, I think.
Welcome to Dice Tower Tonight, a video cast about board games and card games, and especially the people who play them. On tonight's show, Tom and I play show and tell with a few recent games, get ready for PAX by chatting about some video games, and then take your questions live. I'm Eric Summerer, and here's your host, the Wario to my Waluigi, Tom Vasel.
Okay, for once you have this completely wrong.
Really?
Who's taller?
You. Well, I guess, yeah.
Waluigi's the taller guy.
Yeah, sure.
I actually have always liked Luigi better than Mario because of two reasons. One, I always felt like he was the underdog, and two, he was the taller guy. Also, I like Daisy better than Peach.
Okay, sure. I just think
Waluigi
is such a ridiculous name, so
it's a great name.
Sure.
All right, so we'll talk about PAX real briefly here, folks. Me and Eric are both going to be at PAX. We will be there. I'll be there Wednesday night and all Thursday, and Eric's going to show up Thursday
as soon as I can get there.
And be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we're going to have a booth there. We're going to be with the Geek and Sun booth, so you'll be able to see us there. And we'll have some pins. If you go to pennyarcade.com, you'll be able to see the little pins that we're going to have there. So you'll be able to buy those pins from us and collect your pins. You know, got to catch them all. And we'll also have some other promos there. And I think Sam is taking over a table and just going to play Blood Rage till his eyes burst into flame.
Is that really what he's planning to do? Okay.
I don't know about the eyes bursting in the flame thing, but he did say, like, bring people by. I'll have a few games with me. I don't know how many games I want to bring into my luggage, you know, because, and, you know, I don't know how many, I'm always like torn at these events. Do I want to bring some of these hot new Essen games? I know people are like, yes, but do I want to bring hot new games that we'll sit there and kind of like muddle our way through? Or do I want to bring tried and true games that we know are fantastic? Or do I not want to bring any games and hope on the goodwill that other people will have great games there?
Interesting.
Which one are you doing?
Well, I imagine I'm bringing Merchant of Venus with me, but I think there are a few new ones that I would like to bring along as well. Maybe, so I guess it's a mix of both. How much open gaming time will we have at this event?
Well, I think that we'll have 5 hours or so. I mean, you can go game, I guess, when you're not at the booth anyway, right? Or walk around. And the gaming there is from 7 to, it's all the way up to midnight. So I'm figuring you'll grab something to eat. I don't think we're going to be doing like colossal style meals while we're there. Okay. I don't got any plans. I figured we just grab a bite to eat and go back and game.
Okay, sounds cool. I really have no idea what to expect. This is all brand new. This has never been done before. I haven't been to any of the video game PAXs. So this is, I just have no idea what to expect once I walk in the door.
Vanessa says, Eric bringing Merchants of Venus. Shocker.
I know. I have a reputation to maintain at this point.
I'm trying to roll my eyes all the way back in my head. So who's going to be there? So Sam and Z and myself and Eric and Mark Streed, and Jason, and then a few other folks will be scattered around at the booth at different times. I'm going to try to get the schedule up tonight as soon as I'm recording this.
So Mandy's going to be there as well, but is she not able to be with us for the booth time? Is she doing other things?
I don't know what Mandy is doing there, actually. Did she say?
I don't know.
I feel like we should know this.
This is the sort of thing that we should be aware of. Yes.
You know, I've actually not been working on PAX as much these days, but working on the cruise.
Yeah. I mean, the cruise is 2 weeks later. So we have PAX this weekend, then it's Thanksgiving, and then it's the cruise.
That's not actually, you know, if it wasn't for the fact that we had to work, that would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, convention, Thanksgiving convention. But
it would be great.
In there, I need to record 600,000 videos.
Yeah, I've got a couple books to record. It's a bit of a distraction.
All right, so folks, here's my confession for tonight. Hopefully Eric will do better than I. I knew we were doing this show tonight, and I
Uh-huh.
prepared for us doing this show tonight, but I didn't bring home the games.
Oh.
So I
So
grabbed some games off my shelf, and we'll be talking about them instead, but they're not hot and Essen games.
okay.
So,
Sure.
like, for example, I have careers.
What? Okay. Yes. Great. Sounds.
Listen, careers is an actually good game. All right. At the beginning of the game, you let's see here. You pick how many hearts, how much money, and how much fame you want. So that's kind of important stuff to pick.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the rules. Pretty simple. And paper money, which I hate, but what do you do?
Uh-huh.
And so you move around on this board here. So on the careers board, you're going to roll dice and you're going to move around. And if you land on one of these, you can pay money and go through a big business track. You can get a college degree. You can do sports. And here is missions. See, originally it was being a rock star, but my parents did not want me to be a rock star. So they made this missions track instead.
So this is your personal copy of Careers.
This is my copy of Careers from like when I was 10 or something like that. Yeah, it's pretty neat. I have it for nostalgic purposes, but the game itself is pretty fun. Yeah, it's a roll and move. You roll and you move around here. But when you go into these spots, you roll one die and you get experience cards, which you can use in place of dice. And the game's actually pretty good. I wish there was more games that did this sort of thing, like let you pick your victory conditions and then you went for them. That's not something many Euro games do.
No, the only one I can think of is Tales of the Arabian Nights, but that doesn't really mean much.
Yeah, it lets you pick between two numbers, right, which are both kind of identical anyway. Money's important because you need money to make the world go round. But and I guess hearts and fame are pretty much the same thing. You just get some in some spots and some in others. And so I would always pick a track. Like I like the fact that I could go for 60 money. I mean, the game will initially say 20, 20, 20. Sebastian here says, Tom's parents introduced the legacy concept before it was cool.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, so when someone says, who invented legacy games, I'll be like, John Vasel in 1984 or 86, nice. I guess, whatever it was. But yeah, I Careers is a good game. Now, I know you want me to talk about Newsfjord and all these other games, but we're talking about Careers because everyone should have one.
Okay. Well,
Eric, what do you got?
Well, I have one that I did pick up at Essen. It's not one of the hot ones though. This is a kids game. I remember I talked about Co-op Square, those three companies that sort of teamed up and were selling their games. This is one of those. It's called The Secret Door from a company called Sunny Games. They're a Dutch company, Dutch publisher. This was originally a Canadian game, but they've released it.
Sunny Games.
Exactly. So this is a Canadian game from several years ago that they've redesigned and re-implemented. This is a cooperative memory game. So the board, once you've built it, looks like this.
Okay. I'm coming to the conclusion here that you just have a weakness for games where you build them. Three-dimensional type stuff. Because I still remember you complaining about this Powerpuff thing.
I am a bit of a sucker for these sorts of things. Anyway, you've got this house, okay? And there are all of these tiles that go in the various rooms of the house, and there is the secret door. It's like this secret compartment right here, and you put 3 of the items in that secret compartment. So it's a little clue-like. 3 things are hidden under there.
But I know where the secret door is.
Well, you know where the door is, but you're not allowed to open it. You have to, by the end of the game, discover what is in there. So all the tiles are now mixed in this building, and there's like a little sunroof up here, and there's multiple levels. The rooms don't actually mean anything. They're sort of just memory elements to know. I've searched this room. I know that this tile in this room is such and such. You take turns flipping over tiles. It is a memory match game, all cooperative. If you make a match, then they go in this little trough here, and you know that those 2 items are not in the secret door. If you, however, uncover a clock token, that moves the clock 1 space, and when the clock goes all the way around back to midnight, that is the end of the game, and that's when you need to guess what's in the secret door. So you continue making matches and causing the clock to move, and hopefully figuring out what's in there until the clock strikes midnight, and then you make a guess. And if you're right, you win, and if you're wrong, you don't. Um, my kids adored this game. They wanted to play it over and over, reset it. Let's do this again. Ultimately, as a game, there's not much that you can do as a player that's going to help you do better at this game. You either get lucky and don't hit a whole bunch of those clock tiles and you find more of the actual item tiles, or you don't. And you maybe get lucky enough to get a good guess at the end to see if you can win the game. Presentational, it gets high marks because this is pretty cool. And it packs up well. It's sturdy. The components are good. They even give you extra tiles for if you lose some of them. For repeated play, I think this is going to suffer a little bit. I'm not sure this is going to have a whole lot of staying power. But the kids are liking it. That's The Secret Door from Sunny Games.
All right. My next game is called King's Court. Why are you mocking these games?
Did you just open up like a closet in the back of your house somewhere? And
no.
Anyway, please.
No, look. I pulled them off that shelf. That is the family game shelf, which was originally constrained by those cubby holes, and you can see it's getting slightly out of control. So anyway, this is another game I got from my parents. When my mom died, my dad's like, anything you want, just take it. And there wasn't really much that I wanted. I took some pictures and stuff, but I took these two games, Careers and King's Court. This was another one. This one came out in 1989, and I'm pretty sure that's when we got it too. Now, the good thing about King's Court are the pieces. These pieces would stand up today. These are the green pieces, and these are the...
Wow.
Doesn't that look like a piece of candy?
It does. Oh.
So, I keep forgetting I'm on camera sometimes. Maybe that was sleight of hand, though, folks. But anyway, in this game, it's essentially checkers. And so the board, which has not stood the test of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So you put all these pieces on the outside here, and it's every other one. So there's green, orange. And on your turn, the first person moves into the square. The next person moves into the square. And after that, you can move one space in any direction, or you can jump another piece. When you jump pieces, though, you can keep jumping like super checkers. If you jump your opponent's pieces, they're off the board. If you jump your own pieces, you're fine. If at any point you have no pieces in the middle, you lose. That's the whole game. I like it a lot because checkers is a really boring game. But isn't checkers fun when you get a king?
Yes.
Right, you get that king, and then you just jump all over the place. It's crazy fun. Well, you have these. They're all super kings at the beginning. And they're like really super kings, because I'm pretty sure in checkers, you can't jump your own pieces, even when you're a king. It's been a long time since I last played checkers for the last time in my life. But in this game, you can. And so it's like keeping people in the middle there and watching for these jumps and trying to outjump the other person. It's not like this amazing abstract game, but it's pretty solid. And I brought this home, and my kids have played it like 50 times. Everyone's challenging everyone. I beat everyone and then retired. Because they're going to beat me eventually.
Yeah.
But I really like it. It's really good. I think it stood the test of time. And that's King's Court. So that's pretty cool.
Nice. Well, I've got a classic of a slightly different stripe. I finally bit the bullet and bought the new version of Robo Rally. It's right here. This is the latest Avalon Hill edition of the game. It's got the nice windows. Well, it's one of my top games, and I had to find out about these new mechanisms, and I had to try it.
It's not good quality.
In certain ways, it is, though. I mean, it comes with these pre-painted figurines, which actually beat the previous version of the game, which were not painted. They're cute. They've got little expressions, and the figurines are nice. And the boards are pretty nice. They're not fantastic, but they're good. The problem is the player boards and some of the tokens are super thin. They're, I mean, this is card stock. This is what you get when you hit one of the flags in Robo Rally. Backing up, Robo Rally is a game about programming robots and tagging flags around a board full of conveyor belts and pushers and lasers and stuff. And the robots themselves shoot at each other. You program 5 registers in each round and then execute the program and hopefully tag the flags before your opponents. The changes here are that they've simplified. This is a more streamlined version of this game. Damage is a lot simpler. You simply take damage cards like this spam card that goes into your deck. Every player now has an individual deck of cards with all the different programming directions: move 3, move 2, turn right, turn left, etc. There's also an economy of energy cubes that can then be spent on weapons. Weapons were always a difficult thing to get in previous versions of Robo Rally. Now there's a weapon draft at the beginning of every round. If you've got the energy cubes, you can spend them. It's almost like King of Tokyo, the way that works. Same designer. And so this feels a little bit more like a family game, and a little more accessible as a family game. But that quality issue, I wish they had spent a little more money on maybe bigger cards, thicker cards. I also miss the surprise of the numbers on the cards. The previous versions had, a turn right would have a number on it, and it would be a unique number that would then execute in numerical order when these registers were pulled. Now there's this like tower in one corner of the board, and you go clockwise from the tower or distance for the tower for priority orders. There's less of a surprise when you flip over those cards.
It's not a surprise, Eric. They all basically move the same way. Like a right turn was a 77 or a 78 or a 79.
Right, but there would actually be a priority there. And now, if you are closer to the tower, you will move first. And you know that you will move first when you at least flip over your first register or program your first register. That's not a big deal. I'm actually torn as to which version, rules-wise, I like better. I do miss sort of the crunchiness of original Robo Rally, but this is a well put together set of rules. If this were the production of either of the previous 2 versions of Robo Rally, I'd be all over this thing. But I do think my kids will like it. Do you?
No, I think the rules are better. You're right. But you mean not the previous edition. The previous edition was not that good at all. You mean the original version or the German version? Those are nice production values.
I'm still okay with the middle, I guess the middle version. I liked some of the changes that they made with the timer and the player boards. It was actually more streamlined. Not as streamlined as this one, but it was more streamlined than the original, and I still enjoy that rule set. But yes, it was not as good a production. I mean, the boards in the original version are fantastic, and then they got not as good, and they're around the same here. But I need to play this one some more. I think my kids might be more amenable to this, and I'd love to figure out a way to combine the sets somehow and somehow get these damage cards to work in the original map. I haven't put the 2 map tiles together yet to see if they can be used together. They should be compatible with the conveyor belts and the pushers and the lasers. Those are the same. There might be a way to Frankenstein these versions together, which is sort of my ultimate goal here. If you don't have Robo Rally and are interested in it, this is a viable version of the game, and I'm happy.
That's true, and it is a very good one. It's just that I'm really sickened by their
corner cutting.
Oh yeah, my goodness, yes.
Yeah, these are Hobbit cards that you're using, and yeah, they saved a lot of money, and I guess the price point reflects that. It's somewhere in the $30 range, I think. But still, I wish they had spent a little more. Anyway, Robo Rally, still a thumbs up, and I like the changes that they made. I just wish it would have been. I can't wait to talk about this one. Go ahead, Tom.
This is Nobody But His Chickens. This one's only 6 years old, so it's practically new, comparatively. Mm-hmm. In this game, everyone gets these cards here. You get 3 healthy chickens worth 1 point. a plump chicken worth 2 points, a prize chicken worth 4 points, a sickly chicken worth -1, a fox, a rat, and a dog. Everyone is going to play. Each night, you get all 8 cards. You're going to play all 8 cards one at a time. Everyone puts a card in, flips it over. If all the cards in the middle are chickens, nothing happens. If one person plays a fox, they get all the chickens in the middle. If multiple people play a fox, then whoever's the fox king, and that's going to change each round, takes one, then the next person takes one, and you keep going until they're all gone. If you play a rat, you get to go before the foxes, but you only get 1 chicken of your choice. You only get 1. And if you play the dog, you get all the chickens in the middle, but only if somebody played a rat or a fox. If there's just a dog and chickens, the dog is guarding the chickens, and that's it. And at the end of the round, you add up all your points, put them on a little score sheet, which keeps track of how many points you've got over the course of the game. Most points wins. This was a Z-Man game. It is great fun. I love the simultaneous selection, kind of just trying to outguess everyone else. When are they going to play their fox? When do you play your good 4-point chicken? When someone going to play a dog, trying to outguess the other person playing the fox. It is a lot of fun. I'm hoping to get it reprinted by somebody. I've been showing it off to several publishers. I think it's a fantastic game. That's Nobody But His Chickens from Kevin Nunn.
Cool. All right, one more Essen release. This one's from CGE. It is Pulsar 2849.
Holy cow. I really thought you were going to bring out the other That's a Question game.
The other That's a Question game?
No, the game's called That's a Question.
No.
I wasn't expecting you to bring this one out. This is a space game. What?
It is a space game by Vladimir Sushi. It is you are trying to colonize pulsars and capture the energy and send it home. So you are spending you're drafting dice. Each round you roll a bunch of dice. There's this crazy mechanism where you find the median die value. So you line up all the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you find the median value, and then sort of find the balance point between all the values, and that puts a little marker there. And then every time you take a die, depending on what side of the marker it's on, you will be moving either your initiative marker, the turn order marker, or an engineering track marker, left or right, depending on how many spaces away from that median marker you're on. So not only are you trying to pick the values you want of the dice, you're also trying to position yourself to get more engineering cubes at the end of a round, to have better turn order for the next round. And that's a tricky decision to make. Once you've done that, you now have a couple of dice, and you spend these dice to do actions like fly around the board and achieve technology, get space stations that are going to help you later on, get modifiers for future dice. There's a lot of options here. And there are multiple boards, like 4 different boards for each segment of this game. There's 3 levels of technology, and there's an A, B, C, and D board for each of those. There are different endgame scoring pieces. There's 2 sides to the board. This has a lot of replay value and a lot of options. There's headquarter boards that we didn't even play with because that's sort of an advanced rule, and there's different versions of those as well. It's almost a dizzying amount of options in front of you when you start this game. Between the drafting of the dice and then what you do with them, you're trying to fly around to different planets and put your markers on them. You're trying to colonize the pulsars, which puts a ring on it, and then you have to spend a die to get it's called a gyrodyne, and start building it, and then spend another die to flip it over and start it spinning, which now earns you victory points each round. And so that's a part of the economy. You get points for all the planets you visited at the end of the game. You get end game scoring at the debate. If you reach certain milestones, you can spend energy cubes, the engineering cubes, to do more of those. You can earn points with space stations that you build. You can earn points with technology. Only a couple of people can get different patents on technology, so there's a race to get certain ones there. There is a lot going on here. And at first, I was overwhelmed.
Does the space theme make sense?
Yes. Yeah, I think it does.
Could it have been farming?
Maybe, but I'm not sure that all the technology would work. There's stuff about teleporting. There's kind connections of the space vehicles that have technologies that seem space related. I'm sure you could probably plug it into a farming theme, but it feels like space. You have to fly around to the different star clusters, explore, get to the places that you're trying to get to. Uh, I I was overwhelmed at first, but now I'm excited to play again. Now that I have a sense of how it all goes, I really want to explore all those other boards. There's tons of options here, and the rest of the table, I think, felt the same way. So I'm very excited about Pulsar 2849. I
How
want to
long
play.
was the game?
Um, it says 60 to 100 minutes. I think it definitely was on the upper end of that for the first play. We probably played 2.5 hours or so.
Yeah, but your group's slightly slower, right? You play
We
games a
tend
little
to
bit
be.
longer.
I mean, and it was also lots of rules. There was a lot to work through. I think we spent a good 30 minutes on rules, just working our way through all the components and setup and stuff.
If you're a heavy Euro gamer, this is a good year for you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, between Gaia Project and this and Newsfjord and with the one that came from Stronghold with the spinning wheels. What's that one?
Noria, which I haven't played yet.
Noria. Yeah, some guys played Noria at the gaming meetup. Actually, I got to the gaming meetup and I set up the games or some games I was going to play. I played through Fear. I played through the whole thing.
Okay.
You played Fear, right?
I have not played. That's the one I haven't played. I've played Flee maybe half a dozen times at this point.
Do you
but
like
I haven't
Flee?
beaten it. I like Flee. Now that I've played it many times and reset it several times, the beginning feels very scripted because when you first set it up, you've got all the cards in a certain order, and until you reach chapter 2, you always reset into that order. So there is theoretically a proper order to play through the first chapter. Once you get to number 2, there's some variation as you reset, and I'm still enjoying the challenge of getting through it. I have not yet succeeded in getting all the way through the deck yet.
Through the whole deck?
Through the whole deck. I think that's the goal, is to get through the whole deck.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the game's fun enough to go through the whole deck.
Hmm.
It felt more like work. Anyway, so I was setting up and the guys came in and they were like, there's some Terra Mystica, like, dun, dun, dun. So Gaia Project, and I was like, $10. And I think they considered it. I would not charge people $10 to play my games. But yeah, it was just heavy Euro games right and left everywhere at the meetup. There's some people playing Titan, which I was surprised to see. That's not a heavy Euro game. So lots of games to talk about, which I would have, but didn't bring them home. So, all right, but we'll be talking about them in the future. Tomorrow, if you come on the channel, my Altiplano reviews go up. I'll be reviewing the expansion for Terraforming Mars and some other games, some cool stuff going up this week, as well as our Christmas lists.
Yes.
So we're going to PAX Unplugged. PAX is from Penny Arcade, which is a comic strip as a web comic that is about video games. They occasionally mention board games, like 1 out of every 500 comics, but they're mostly about video games. And so I wondered if Eric has ever played a video game.
Oh, once or twice. Yes, sure. I have quite the back catalog of video games. I was an early Nintendo Entertainment System owner. I had the Rob, the robotic operating buddy,
Did
for
you
the
really?
Nintendo. Oh, I did. It was useless. That thing was ridiculously stupid. It was this
a lot of
complicated
stuff back then.
It was like it was this robot that looked at the television screen and got coded signals when you pushed buttons on the controller, and that would tell it to turn right or left or pick up something. And it had to pick up gyroscopes and then balance those gyroscopes on a device that just pushed a button on another controller. So we tried that for like 20 minutes and then just took another person and had them push the buttons on the controller to actually do the things that we were trying to do in the game. It was a lot easier that way. But anyway, had the Nintendo, we were a Nintendo household, so we did the Super Nintendo and the N64 and the GameCube, and I did a lot of computer gaming that wasn't like the same type of games as consoles. I played a lot of adventure.
What's the first game you remember playing? The first video game?
First video, like arcade stuff?
Anything.
Dragon's Lair is one of the... Well, I mean, that's one that made an impression in the arcade.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Dragon's Lair. Well, I was just watching what's that show called? Stranger Things.
I haven't seen it yet.
It doesn't spoil anything.
Yeah.
Just in the first episode of Stranger Things 2, they're in the arcade playing Dragon's Lair.
Nice.
And I was like, oh yeah. My kids are like, oh, what's that? The first video game that really made an impression on me. In the arcade, it might have been Pitfall. Because that just seemed like I was like, does the game ever end? but at home, it was definitely Tunnels of Doom. Okay. Tunnels of Doom, which was on Atari. You had to play a tape, not an Atari. It was, I forget, that's a TSR system. You had to play a cassette tape. In fact, someone made a little cassette tape and put it in a frame, and I have it hanging on the wall in my office of Tunnels of Doom.
Nice. My cousin had a cassette game called Hunt the Wumpus, which was like a maze. It was almost like Minesweeper, except instead of finding a mine, you found this terrible monster that would eat you. And you needed to find weapons before you found the monster and defeat him.
I'm glad that you were able to have a Nintendo, though. I did not have a Nintendo. In fact, I never got the Super Nintendo. My friends had it, and I played that. And then the first system I ever had was the Commodore 64, because I went to great lengths to explain to my father all the practical non-gaming uses of the Commodore 64, which I used about 1% of the time.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, we had a home computer. My dad was big into computing as well, so we had computers in the house, and he would occasionally let us play a game on them. We played all the King's Quests and Space Quest games on the computers. We had an Atari 800 computer, which could take cartridges, but not the right not the cartridges my friends had for their Atari 2600. They didn't work. You had to get different cartridges for the Atari 800 computer. I did play ColecoVision at a friend's house. Those are some of the earliest console games we had. Tron, Master Discs, or something like that. That was one of our big favorites.
I remember, and I can't remember the name of the game. Well, it was a text. That was a text adventure game. There was actually pictures in it. It had King Arthur, and you went around and you solved these different things. And I remember very specifically going through, and you asked questions and things. I remember specifically I got to a door, and I had no idea. It's like, what's the password? And I was like, shut up. And it worked. I don't remember if it was in that game or another game. But what really was this, my mom watched, and she was like fascinated by this whole thing, like trying to figure out the puzzles. My mom didn't care about video games at all, and she was fascinated. And I was near the end of the game and got to this room where there's some seductress woman was there, and she was like, you can be mine. Do you want me, yes or no? Well, my mom is standing over my shoulder. So, of course, I typed no, which was the right choice, I'm pretty sure. And my mom was like, what if he had said yes? Do you know what your son's been doing to my father? And so on and so forth. 10 years later, I hunted that game down because I needed to know what happened if you said yes. And she turns into a snake and kills you or something like that.
Well, see, that was a lovely mystery solved. One of the first games we got for our family home computer was King's Quest IV, The Perils of Rosella. And we played that as a family. We all gathered around. One person took turns typing in the commands, and everybody else just sat around offering advice on puzzles, making maps, remembering what somebody else had said. It was a true family experience working our way through that game. As time went by, we didn't do that with all of the games that we got for that for that type of game, but King's Quest IV was a true family solving experience, and I still remember that as a really cool time.
I know that they make stuff like this nowadays. I don't know. Maybe escape rooms are giving us the same kind of feel as this.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff in the iOS platform. You've got The Room and Forever Lost, and I'm playing one called Returner 77 right now. That's that style of quest, reminding you of Myst or the King's Quest and Space Quest games.
I think they're making one now for Catan, some sort of text adventure style game.
Yeah, I did the trailer for Catan Stories.
That was you. Okay, I knew it. But it doesn't sound like you exactly.
I was doing a character. I was playing the Raven in the game. But yeah, that's me.
All right. But I was like, no way Asmodee got Eric.
Yeah, they did.
They could have easily found someone better.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Thank you.
No,
the check arrived today. Yeah, I did the job.
Here's the problem. You're becoming this monopoly here. We need some other voiceover actors in gaming.
Well, I'm fine with this.
I know you're fine with it, but some of us don't want to hear Eric Summerer all the time.
I try and keep it limited.
One I Ultimate Werewolf is all Tina for me. All Tina.
Really?
I don't think she's done all of them. Just
yeah, I don't know. I haven't checked all of the expansions to see if she's on all of them. I'm sorry.
Anyway. So you don't know anything about the game. You just did the trailer for it.
I did the trailer for it. Yeah, it's out now. I haven't looked at it yet. I know some people have been frustrated with how the question or the options don't always seem like options. It'll be like, what do you do in this situation? Well, I think we need to hide in the shadows. And then the other option is, we should wait and see what happens. It's like, well, that's really both the same thing.
Oh, it's out now?
I think it is, yeah. You should get it.
Yeah, I should, actually. I could play it on an airplane up to PAX.
There you go.
That'd be fun. Is it an online thing, or is it a once and done deal?
I don't know. It's a text adventure, as far as I know.
Well, that's
in the world of Catan.
Oh, that's interesting. I'll have to get back into this. These days, well, my biggest computer playing, video game playing, was my college days, because that was when we had expendable money and a lot of time.
Yes.
So for me, Warcraft 2, as we started playing Warcraft 2, we realized we could connect wires. So we could connect one computer to another computer.
Yes.
Play against each other. And that was just mind-blowing. Although before that, we played Dune. I think Dune was even better. I really liked Dune. And we played Commands and Conquers, but we kept coming back to Warcraft. And then StarCraft made me lose whole letter grades. But the game I played the most in college, let's see, I played X-Wing and TIE Fighter. I played the snot out of XCOM. But maybe the one I played the most was Heroes of Might and Magic. And I now have that on the iPad, and I played a small amount of it there also. Okay.
I played a lot of Jedi Knight, Dark Forces 2 in college, and a lot of Star Fox 64. A lot of Star Fox 64. And lately, most of what I'm playing is Lego games, because my kids are into that. So like Lego Marvel superheroes or Lego Batman, Lego Dimensions. I enjoy that style of play. We can pick up and play for an hour or two and be done with it and make some progress in the game. I'm just patiently awaiting a new Portal, because that's probably my favorite video game of the last 10 years. But I don't get a chance to play as many.
Have you played that Lego one where you put the Legos on it? It's kind of like the...
Yes. That's Lego Dimensions. Sort of like Skylanders, but with Lego figures.
Is it good?
I'm not a huge fan of it mechanically, but it is pretty cool to go like into Back to the Future land or Portal land, or there's a Ghostbusters one, and to be able to enter these worlds and see them Legoized, and the in-jokes and voice acting, music, all that stuff is usually a part of the experience. So I enjoy expanding the world with the Legos. But mechanically, it's not as fun as the standalone Lego adventures, if that makes sense. Because everything's
Lego adventures, but I don't know. Maybe they're just not my style. I like them. They're fun. They're certainly fun to play together with somebody else. But the game that, obviously, Breath of the Wild has just been amazing. I beat the game, so I calmed down on it a little bit. So now I'm playing Super Mario Odyssey. And I've been playing that pretty consistently. I have my audience where I have my one daughter who cheers for me, one daughter who tells me that she already did it and faster, and the other daughter who consistently tells me how bad I am at video games.
Wow.
I keep asking her if she wants to, ever play again in her life. They're like, just give the controls to Melody. I'm like, I'm not giving the controls to Melody. I'm going to beat this. And with Breath of the Wild, I was way ahead of all the other. I beat it before they all did. And with this one, I'm far behind. But Skyrim's coming out very, very soon.
Ooh.
So I'm excited about that. I think it's like a few days, actually.
I don't have any of the current generation systems. I have an original Wii. I've got a PS3, and I've got a PS2. And I don't have room to get a next generation console without getting rid of one of the older ones. And I'm having trouble letting go of the library of PlayStation 2 games that the kids are still playing. And same with the Wii and GameCube games.
So don't get rid of them. Just get the Switch and put it in your room. You don't have to show the kids it even exists.
Really? Interesting thought.
Or you can password it.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
My kids have to ask to play the Switch. You know what I really like about the Switch is that everyone has their own account on it, so the kids don't mess with my stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah, so far, I mean, it's only had a few great games in my opinion, but they're fun. And, you know, I know that nowadays the hot thing is to get all these old Nintendos. You know, you can buy the Nintendo with all the old games. And those games are fun, but you know what? Even though they're great games, they're really hard.
Yep.
And they don't hold the kids' attention that long. They really don't.
I really want to show. I've been gunning for both of the classic systems and have not been able to get one because they didn't make enough. And I would love to show the kids like The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, or Super Metroid, or original Super Mario Brothers. I mean,
Metroid is great too.
That would be so much fun to show them. And I know friends who have done that, and the kids have been super excited to play these classic games. I just don't want. I can't go through the hoops necessary to actually acquire one of these systems. You still have to get up early, or figure out when the delivery truck shows up, or pay ridiculous amounts of money to the scalpers who get all the online copies.
Or if you know someone who works at Toys R Us.
That would be nice.
That's how that works. That's how I got mine.
Yeah, you have to know when the delivery is showing up. And
I was talking to the person at Toys R Us who I knew worked there, and I was like, yeah, I'd get a Switch, but yeah, they keep selling out. So there's no rush. And she said, oh, I could hold one for you. And I was like, great. I had a really good excuse for never buying one.
And now I can do it. Yeah.
Okay, folks, this is not a video game podcast, but we thought we'd talk about it a little bit. We're going to PAX, and that's not actually, this is PAX Unplugged. So this is an ironic podcast.
Yeah.
But video games are a big deal. And I think board games are better than video games. I think they interact with people, but at the same time, video games are such a big part of our lives. I still like doing it. I'm not as driven. Like, I was just downstairs playing Mario Odyssey before this, and I go fight a final bad guy, and the fourth time I lost, I said, I'm good. And I put it away and go do something else. You know, I'll probably beat it eventually, right?
Yeah.
But I don't have this like drive as much as I used to. Or I'll be on the computer for a while. I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Let's go do something else.
There's so many other things to do. And usually when I'm on the iPad, I'm prepping a book. And so I don't have a chance to play a game unless I've gotten all my homework done, basically. Or playing with the kids there's only like a couple of hours that I can do that before it's dinner time and then evening time, bedtime. I don't have access to the TV with the video game systems on it. So it's the time that I can play is a lot more limited now.
Again, that's the benefit of the Switch. It's like almost like having an iPad.
Dude, now I got to get one of these things.
I haven't actually traveled with it yet, though, because I already have the iPad. The iPad has really changed portable gaming for me, period.
Yeah.
There's just so much on it. All right. Well, folks, we got some time left. So if you have any questions, we can go back to board games for sure. If you have any questions for me or for Eric, go ahead and ask them in chat, and we'll see what answers we have for you. We don't answer everything, obviously, and we'll pick questions that look more interesting than others. But if you have them, if you want to talk about PAX coming up or whatever else might be coming, the cruise, we're very excited about that.
I'm excited about the cruise. I just booked our excursions, and we, my wife and I are going to be there together, and I'm just really we're taking a cooking class at one point, the salsa and salsa lessons.
Is that on the ship?
That is off the ship. It's one of the ports. I forget which one we have that in. We're doing a cooking class of cuisine, and we're doing the salsa, guacamole, and salsa class.
All right. So our first question is, if you could work for any game company, which one and why?
Ooh.
I guess the one with the most games. I don't want to work for a company that has the same game that I have to keep pushing all the time. I get bored of it.
I would consider Plaid Hat. I think they have fun down there. Just from what I've heard in the podcast and just knowing the people working there, I think that would be a fun place to hang out. But I haven't seen the working environments in any other game companies.
Did you guys see or try the Thing game? No, I just got it in the mail. What excursions are you doing, Eric?
Well, I think I just said. Yeah.
Just so they can stalk you.
Oh, yeah, probably.
Which of the Fast Forward series do you like best? For me, it's a tie between Fear and Fortress. I like them both. Not a big fan of Flea. So,
what style of game is Fear?
Fear is Super Uno, as Fortress is super trick-taking, maybe, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
When will we know some of the promos for the fundraiser? Like January 1st? I don't even have them all lined up yet. How did you manage to get all the Essen games through customs? I told the guy we were taking games through. No, we took a lot in our suitcases, right, between all of us, and the rest were shipping on a pallet. So that's going through customs officially. I'm not sure all the details.
Are we selling any promos at PAX?
Yeah, there's promos there. The penny arcade things.
Yeah.
And some other promos. I have a list of... Actually, let me see if I can pull it up. I'm not actually sure. I made a list of all the promos that were going to the different conventions. Let me see if I can find it. Dice Tower full inventory. There we go. Take 2 packs. Oh my. Oh my. We may have taken a lot of stuff to PAX.
Oh.
Okay. Well, more than I expected. Oh. Okay. Everything that we took to Essen, we're taking the same amount to PAX and more.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So
we got an interesting use of table space.
Lots of the Zombicide Black Plague, Eric Summoners. He'll sign them all.
Sure.
Arcadia Quest. Oh my.
That's the new Chuck the Die.
Yeah. Okay. Some poker chips will be there. Nothing personal. Robinson Crusoe. Dead of Winter. Seven Wonders Duel. Adrenaline. Wow. Okay. Century Spice Road. Clank. Coup. Evolution. Some Dice Towers. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's a lot more than I had expected.
You thought we'd have like a nice little corner of one table and that would be it?
No. I know what the size table we have. I just didn't expect to be bringing this many promos. Yeah, I'm the one who picked it, so I guess I wasn't paying attention. Well, that's cool. Lots of promos.
It's good to know. It's good that we know now. Now you're ready for it.
I am ready for it. Okay. Are you going to review Meeple Circus, Tom? Yes, I am. It's done. Check it out. Like 4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago?
Yeah, it was a while. It was before Essen I reviewed it.
Oh, okay.
Do you choose who reviews particular games? And if so, do you choose who would most likely like it? A Dice Tower seal of approval could make or break a game, and so the choice of reviewer could be critical. I doubt that we're making or breaking games. We just break them. We always try to let the person who likes it best to do it. Let's see here. I was trying to find your promos on cool stuff. It was unsuccessful. Could you link it, please? I might be able to link it somewhere else. We'll try to put a link from the main Dice Tower, but just search for Dice Tower on it and then look for one of the promos. And if you click on that promo, if you find any promo, at the top it has a little thing that says Dice Tower. You click that and it just It takes you to all the promos. Oh, someone just asked the same question. Yes. So a lot of the promos are available through Cool Stuff. Who's going to BGG from the Dice Tower? I think Hunter and Rebecca Thomason are going.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, it's just really not. I mean, it's at the same time as PAX, and we wanted to grow our audience, and we think PAX is an opportunity to do that. So BGG is a lot of fun to go to, but we just can't go to both. I will say that even if they're at different times, I don't think we'll ever go to both anyway, because they'll be like back to back or 2 weeks apart. That's pretty much the same thing.
I think Ambi from Board Game Blitz is there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at our Slack group. Mark the Chubby Meeple is there. Yeah. BJ from Board Game Gumbo. There are a few people representing.
Eric, who is your favorite voice actor? If you say really yourself, then we have to stop the show for egotistical purposes.
Yeah, no, I really like Rob Paulson, who did Wacko from Animaniacs. He's been doing a lot of really cool behind-the-scenes stuff, interviews with people. I really like his work.
Are we going to post a list of games that will be in the library for the cruise soon? You should get that soon. That's not on me anymore. That's on Jason. I've sent him the information. Did you get an email from him, Eric?
Regarding the library, no, but I haven't checked in the last couple of hours. I've been talking to you.
He was supposed to send it out today. Well, here, let's call him on air. Hey, he's always calling me on air.
Yeah? All right. Jason wants me to pick him up at the airport when we get to PAX. I'm not sure that's going to work out. But I guess I can try.
Well, you could just say no.
I could, but I'm trying to be friendly.
We're calling Jason.
Okay, yeah, all right. Hi, Tom.
I'm sending out the email now. I'm just trying to get my stupid computer working.
Are you watching our show?
No, what did you say?
We just wondered if you were sending out the email.
Oh, actually, he can't hear you, Jason.
He can't hear me. Never
Eric. No, we're doing a live show and people ask, so we said we would call you live. You're on the air.
Oh, I'm sending it out. Sorry, my internet is breaking down at my house, and I'm trying to send this email out with the information for everyone. So that's the answer. AT&T is actually on hold on the other line. I hate AT&T if I haven't said that before to everyone. But I am sending out this email tonight, and we have a party, which there's a lot of details. It's going to be at the hotel that we have the group rate at, and we also most likely are going to cruise in February, and we have the library. This is all coming tonight, I promise. I just need my internet working. I'm so sorry.
Okay, you don't need to apologize. No big deal. We were just messing with you.
Well, now everyone knows. Now everyone knows the story.
I think it's funny. People are saying AT&T is the worst, but AT&T looks like angels when compared to Comcast.
No, I'm telling you. I used to have internet that worked. They switched me to a higher speed internet, and now there's something about 2 lines have to run to your house, and unless they're balanced, your internet goes in and out. My internet has been going in and out since they switched me, and it's so hard to do any work. Oh, it's frustrating.
All right.
Beyond frustrating.
Well, everyone says they love you on the internet.
Tell them I love them too, and I promise it's coming tonight.
Okay, I think you just told them that. But all right, cool. We'll talk to you later.
Yep, bye.
That was fun.
I seriously thought he was watching us. All right. Well, that's that. So yeah, that's coming soon. Actually, we're pretty excited because we got the party set up. Because we couldn't do it at Cool Stuff because of Friday Night Magic, which is the night before the cruise.
Right.
So we're doing it at the hotel that most people are staying at. We got the ballroom there, so that would be fun. Will
it be bigger than the group at Cool Stuff?
It's a little bigger, I think.
Cool. like a little mini con before the cruise.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see here. Most people are just talking about how awful Comcast is at this point in time.
It's good that we started that.
Tom should do more crank calls. No, we're not going to call. I was tempted to call other people, but
we could just call up random designers and see if they pick up.
Well, let's see who's on my phone here.
Who's on your speed dial? Hey, it's Eric Lang. Let's see.
Oh, I do have Eric
What
Lang's
time is it
number.
in Singapore?
I'm not calling him. And actually, he's probably in America. I think he's going to BGG Con.
That's true. Yes, he's.
Let's see. We could call Ignacy. I got his phone number here, and I could call my homeowners association president. That's probably a bad idea. I call the bank. Jeff Engelstein. I got his name in here.
Oh, there you go.
Let's
see what he's up to.
No, I'm not calling people. Now look at all these people asking me to call people. I'm not actually going to do that. Can people bring their prototypes to Dice Tower Cruise? Yes, you can. Can you bug publishers with your prototypes? No, you can't. This is a fun, relaxing cruise, and I want publishers to be able to come on it without being attacked by people in their prototypes. Can you bug other people to do your prototypes within reason? Like if you sit down and put your prototype and no one's playing it, then you need to pack it up and let some people actually play a game at that table. We want this to be fun. If you have prototypes and people want to play it, go for it. But I can't. I would be very cautious about it. How much are tickets for Dice Tower Cruise? Well, they're closed. But we're going to have the next cruise where it's going to be in February 2019.
Ooh. So
there actually is technically no cruise in 2018. It really is, though. We're just moving it from December to February for a lot of reasons, but mostly because of the date. It's easier for people to make it in February.
Is it going to change the price at all? Do you know?
Price will be slightly different. I don't know exactly, though. Let's see, blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah is code for he doesn't like your question.
No. No, just some of these, like, for example, okay, fair. Sam McDonald says, how many times do you play a game before you can review it? And the answer is enough. That's my same reply always. Let's see here. This guy, he says if we make the cruise on his birthday week in February, he'll have to make it. I think it's pretty much going to happen. We just haven't signed the papers yet or anything. So we want to wait till we sign before we announce it officially. But there's just a lot of different reasons to be involved with that. Is there a top 10 2017 coming? Well, yeah, but we want to get a little farther in 2017 before that happens. I'd be hesitant to do that in November.
Well, we do have our end of the year show on the podcast, but that's in December. Like it's our last show of the year, basically.
What's the first album you remember buying?
Ooh. I think it's Weird Al Yankovic's first album.
I never bought albums, so I went to college. Something happened that I was able to go buy some CDs. So I never bought a record in my life. I just used tapes as a kid. And so I bought the Last Starfighter soundtrack.
Ooh, good stuff.
Bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum, bum. That's a good soundtrack.
Bill Conti, right?
I think so. Is it not? Is it Alan Silvestri? It's Bill Conti?
I'm not 100%. It's been a while since I looked at that CD.
Last Starfighter soundtrack.
Bill Conti might be the right stuff, which is why I'm confused.
We're both wrong.
We're both wrong?
Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was Alan Silvestri. Maybe it's because it sounds like his stuff.
Who is it?
It's Craig Sam. Also done Mr. Wrong, Stand and Delay to Black. Remo Williams, The Adventure Begins. Major Pain. Fate. Yeah, I already said that. Oh, and he also did the music to the TV series Cheers.
Really?
That's our trivia question.
There you go.
All right.
We're all over the place tonight.
We really are. It's Pop Culture Monday. Can I play a game with you at PAX? If you can find us and there's a game and it works. That's just basic. It's the same thing I always say to everybody. If you're in the right place at the right time. We really don't schedule games because it would just be horrendous for us.
But we don't have any evening activities planned, right? So we're going to try and play stuff. Whatever open gaming opportunities there are, we're going to try and be out and about.
Is the Dice Tower headquarters really in Miami? Well, no, it's actually in Homestead, which is south of Miami. But yeah, basically.
They thought you were lying?
I guess so. Any more info on your Thursday night gaming activities? I'm just going to the one hotel where they're going to play games, I guess. I don't know where it is yet. Have you played any augmented reality board games yet? I think I played one and I wasn't very impressed with it. Just looking through a screen at a piece that might be there, I don't really get the point of that. Do you know what I'm talking about, Eric?
Ortis Regni? Was that it?
Was that what it was? I don't remember. But like you look through your screen, like you hold your phone up like this, and then you see the pieces on the board. Well, whoopee to do. I don't get that. Why not just put the piece on the board?
Yeah. It doesn't add much yet.
I'd rather have holograms. I get that the people want to do this, where they're looking through and, oh, look, there's a tree and there's a witch in that tree. Ah! I get that, right? But I don't know. I don't get it for board games. Okay. Any intention to come back to BGG Con in the future? Not really, but I mean, it might happen. We don't rule anything out. All right. Well, it is 10:02. We started 2 minutes late. Not actually, we only started 1 minute late.
No, I think we're good.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to get going here. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. I hope you have a fantastic evening. I will try to get the PAX schedule up fairly shortly. And that's pretty much all I have, really. What do you got to say, Eric?
Well, we should be back in 2 weeks, right? To do this again. Are we going to do it right before the cruise?
Yeah, probably.
Cool.
I was thinking maybe we could do it at that event before the cruise. It might be interesting.
That would be interesting.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll find out. But it will definitely be that week, in 2 weeks. No, wait. 2 weeks is Thanksgiving, Eric.
No, Thanksgiving's next week. And and then comes the cruise.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah.
All right. Cool. All righty. Well, we'll figure it out, guys. Apparently, I'm off on my time zones. It's daylight savings time.
Yes, that's what it is. Sure.
It's been a week and a half, and I still haven't got used to that extra hour I got.
Yeah. You switched over a day or something. Yeah.
All right, folks. We'll see y'all next time. Until then, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Eric Summerer.
And you've been listening to Dice Tower Tonight.
Thanks for watching. Promotional consideration has been provided by game publishers in the form of review copies of games. If all goes well, Tom and I will see you in 2 weeks for another installment. Our show is sponsored by viewers like you. Thank you. Dice Tower Tonight is produced by Tom and me, with assistance from Derek Porter and Rob Searing. Our sugary candy and pocket-sized monster-themed dispensers has been provided by Dungeon Pez. Timothy Pinkham composed our theme, and hosting is provided by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games at great prices at coolstuffinc.com. Give us your feedback on the Dice Tower Guild at Board Game Geek on Facebook or Twitter, or by emailing us at dicetower@gmail.com. And don't forget to visit the other shows in the Dice Tower Network. Find something new at dicetowernetwork.com. Until next time, from all of us at the Dice Tower, have fun gaming.